this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We're looking at the MACDs, the moving averages, the day's support, resistance and pivot levels and the Fibonacci's. It is Tuesday the 30th of March. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against US dollar, it's a bearish start to the day. Going to need to see Bitcoin avoid the pivot at 56,999 to take a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 59,168. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break out from yesterday's high, 58,492, and back through to 59,000 levels. So barring an extended crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 60,000 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, could see Bitcoin test resistance at the 14th of March, swing high 61,699 before any pullback. The second major resistance level sits at 6660. Fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 55,507 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should stay clear of sub 55 levels. Second major support level sits at 53,338. Looking at the MACD, we've got a widening of the bearish histogram this morning after yesterday's late bearish cross. That's supporting this early morning pullback. On the EMA, however, it's still a bullish indicator, 50 holding its ground against the 100 and the 200. So keep through the early part of the day, avoid the pivot at 56,999 and break back through yesterday's high, 58,492 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do so, support levels will come into play. Across Ethereum against the US dollar, also bearish start to the day. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid the pivot at 1778 to take a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 1880. We'll need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break back through yesterday's high. It was at 1841.88. So barring an extended crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 1900 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, could see Ethereum test resistance at 2000 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 1944. The fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 1713 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should stay clear of sub 1700s. Second major support level sits at 1611. Looking at the MACDs, we've got a marked narrowing of the bullish histograms and we could see a possible bearish cross this morning, supporting the early pullback. On the EMA, however, the 50s holding its ground and moving away marginally from the 100 and the 200, which remains a bullish signal. So keep through the early part of the day, avoid the pivot at 1778 and break through yesterday's high 1841.88 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do those, support levels will come into play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, bullish start to the day. Going to need to see Litecoin avoid a fall through the pivot at 191 to support a move through the 23.6% fib at 195 and then target the first major resistance level at 200. Support from the broader market is going to be needed for Litecoin to break out from yesterday's high 197.54. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, could see Litecoin test resistance at 215 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 206. A fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 185 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should stay clear of sub 180. Second major support level sits at 176. Looking at MACD, slight narrowing of the bearish histograms, but nothing suggestive of a bullish morning ahead, so keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, however, the 50 is pulling away from the 100 and the 200, with the 100 closing in on the 200, which are bullish indicators. So keep through the early part of the day, move back through the 23.6% fib at 195 to bring resistance levels into play. A fall through the 191 pivot, however, would bring support levels into play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, also bearish start to the morning here. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP avoid the pivot at 0.5598 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 0.5763. We'll need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break out from yesterday's high, 57088. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 0.58 to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, should see Ripple's XRP test resistance at 0.6 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 0.5873. A fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 0.5488 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid the second major support level at 0.5324 and the 23.6% fib at 0.532. Looking at the MACDs, slight narrowing of the bullish histograms this morning. We could see a possible bearish cross, so need to keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, the 50 is holding its ground against the 100 and the 200, also inconclusive early in the day. So key through the early part of the morning, avoid a fall through the pivot of 0.5598 and break back through to 0.57 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will come into play.